Welcome to medieval Europe, where the grass is a little greener, the water is a little wetter, and the chance of a woman dying during childbirth is 15%. 100% if they deliver 3 consecutive daughters. We play as Henry and are currently riding fast to deliver a message to the king. We decide to set up camp in an open area that can be surprise attacked from multiple sides. Medieval Europe is pretty safe, so it shouldn't be a problem. This is my dog Mutt. He's my everything. I go around the camp stealing all the food like I was me when I scanned the avocados as potatoes at the self-serve checkout. My mate asks if I want to have a practice fight. I proceed to give him a ripe spanking with my wooden sword, which is great foreplay. I mean swordplay. We celebrate by taking off all our armor, getting naked, and bathing in the large lake together. My mate then says he hears a woman's voice and wants to follow it. It's like I don't even exist. We follow the female voices. 10 minutes into my playthrough and I'm chasing a woman through the reeds. Everything makes me miss her. What a fun moment of boys being boys. Just kidding, a bunch of dodgy bandits roll up and mercilessly murder all of our friends. It's hard to watch, but besides not camping in the middle of a busy intersection and not removing all of our armor and weapons so we could splash around in the fresh water, there's nothing we could have done better. Being 2 brave knights, we do the noble thing and swim away, leaving them to be flailed. We could have helped those women, but it's not like we're white knights. The bandits go out looking for us and we have to sneak away. Lucky we have good night vision. It looks like we're home and hosed, but then suddenly a bandit is like, "Yo cutie, I'm done with all the pillaging, now it's time for the Well, it doesn't matter what it's time for because I give him a little shake and bake and then we both fall off a 30-foot cliff together. Obviously, anyone could easily survive that. It was just a 30-foot cliff, it's not like it was the Black Plague. Plus, Henry seems like the kind of sensible geezer to always triple sheath his sword, if you know what I mean. Honestly though, between that and the raging syphilis, you're probably better off investing in a rigid heddle loom and weaving yourself some lewd tapestries. Half dead, my mate carries me along a path while Henry has visions of his parents being murdered. Jesus. See a therapist, Henry, you're a professional victim. My friend carries me all the way to this sweet old woman's house. She nurtures us back to full health and all she asks in return is that I bury a body for her. I hope I die before my dad dies so that when he lowers my coffin into the ground, he can let me down one last time. Before I get ready to dispose of the corpse, I steal all of her food. I also learn the big girl needs more fibre in her diet, as that's straight liquid. To wash off the blood, I dunk my head in a bucket of the angel's moist tears, instantly cleansing myself. I grab the body, and then realise my dog Mutt is missing. This is the worst possible scenario. It's in this moment I decide I will not rest until I find my pooch. It will be my quest. I'm meant to be avenging my dead parents, but my lost dog takes priority. What I didn't realise at the time was that I was about to embark on a journey that would test myself not only as a gamer, but also as a man. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, morally, and right off the bat, intimately. I mean, this is the perfect time for Henry to practice his kissing. I thank the sweet old lady for her kindness, kick her chicken in the beak, take money off her, which seems like the opposite way this exchange should have gone, and then make haste for the closest town. It's a short walk from the forest, and it's crucial I don't get distracted. This man asks if I can help him with his sacks. I will tickle all the sacks in this realm if it gets me closer to my dog Mutt. Unfortunately, he meant his actual physical sacks with resources in them. God forbid this game was set in ancient Greece where there was a bathhouse on every corner. On the positive side, I do find some sausage in the tavern. While I work hard, my mate starts a fight with the locals. I have to jump in with him and it quickly escalates into an all-out fist fight. Not a mobile phone in sight, just people basking in the sunshine, living in the moment. I proceed to knock out so many people, the onlookers start calling me Sir Rohypnol. I've only really got one good fighting story. I was getting dinner at my mate's house with our girlfriends. I used to live in the tropics of Australia. We left the door open to let the sea breeze in and a brown snake wriggled into the dining room. My mate spots the slippery reptile and yells, "Quick ladies, get to the kitchen." I said, "Excuse me, you misogynistic, sexist piece of garbage." I start laying into him. Right hook, left hook. The girls start chanting, "Jeff, Jeff, Jeff." I get the snake, tie it around his neck, throw them both off the deck, and then we finish our frittatas and I tell the girls to wash up. The guards come and blame us for the fight, and we have to spend a couple of days in the pillory having fruit thrown at us. I'm pretty sure this is what my Uber Eats drivers do with every one of my meals before they deliver it. A day passes and my mate decides to abandon me. I hate to see him go, but I love to watch him leave. Now alone in the world with nothing, I must gather myself and prepare to save my pet dog Mutt. I walk up to a beggar and somehow convince her to give me money. This is the second time I've taken money off a vulnerable woman. My night roleplay needs work. I head into a small house to see if there's anything of value. The owner quickly comes in, grills me, and instructs me to get out immediately or she'll bring the guards. God forbid she gives me a chunk of bread for the road. Villains aren't born, lads and lasses, they're made. I leave the town more motivated than ever. That woman cast me aside, and now I'll cast aside everyone. No longer held back by the heavy chains of morality, I forge forward. The shackles of ethics have been removed. I will viciously kill every single person in this gorgeous European countryside if it gets me even 1 inch closer to Mutt. I begin attacking a cow. What's the difference between my dad leaving and a cow? I can't milk a cow for 18 years. I chase after it as Papa Pelli wants Wagyu tonight, but then the farmer approaches me. He squares up to fight, brandishing a pathetic iron axe. This rancher is braver than guys who date girls that have their septum pierced. We duel for a moment, but eventually he kneels down and pleads. I instruct him to give me everything he has in exchange for his life. He agrees. The funny thing is, after our interaction, he's still wearing that adorable long-sleeved gambeson and hat. I don't recall stuttering when I said everything, so I slay him and take his fit. I need to ask everyone and anyone about Mutt, and so I head to the next settlement to gather clues. On the way, I face my most dangerous challenge yet. A 30-foot drop off a cliff. There's no possible way anyone could survive that. I set off again and come across a shepherd attempting to round up his flock. The only shepherd I need is the Holy Lord. I realise if people are isolated and in the middle of nowhere, it's easy enough to murder them. This brings in a steady stream of coin and I can stay sustained by eating their food. Besides, the sheep seem to have put themselves back into the pen without the need of a shepherd. This cute little German shepherd always comes and takes a dump on my lawn, it's so annoying. Sometimes he even brings his dog. I ask around, but no one's seen Mutt. This woman is in her pajamas at 3 PM. Have some self-respect. As I leave the town, I run into a messenger who's agitated as he's lost the letter he was delivering. He asks if I can beat him up a little so he can say that he was mugged. I start hitting the kid, but suddenly I no longer see a sweet, innocent messenger, but rather my dad's face. I just keep striking and eventually knock him unconscious. When he regains consciousness, I can't have him blabbing all over the kingdom that I have daddy issues, and so I throw his body off a nearby cliff. It's at least a 30-foot drop, so he'll probably survive. I begin to realise that murdering everyone I come across isn't helping me find Mutt. People can't give helpful hints when they're dead. I decide to scale back my mass murderer character arc. I hide this last body where not even Sherlock Holmes could find it. You know when you're single and no woman will look at you? Then you get a girlfriend and suddenly every babe is like, "Oh my god, I want you, Jeff. You're so hot and your hairline isn't receding." They don't say that to me with words, but they're thinking it. Basically that happens, but instead of a babe, it's the most endearing little Robin Hood outfit I've ever seen in my entire life. Not 10 minutes after I swore off murder, I'm presented with drip that's colder than the underside of an Arctic penguin's ballsack. I'm just one more homicide away from becoming Robin Hood. I take a gander around the woods and there isn't a soul in sight. Much like Robin Hood took from the rich to give to the poor, I commit another murder so I can get some new clothes. What I lack in morals, I gain in aura. Robin Hood would get so many wenches in this fit, and even if he didn't, he could just pay for it. Brothels in medieval Europe would have been so much fun. No Apple tags or find my phone, just a quick babe, I went for a jog, that's why I'm sweaty. I guess if Robin Hood paid women for intimacy, that would make them rich, so subsequently he would have to rob them afterwards. When you think about it, Robin Hood was the original paying a hooker in Grand Theft Auto and then killing her afterwards to get your money back. I continue towards the cliff I fell off to see if I can find Mutt here. There's a highwayman up to no good and he pulls out a blade and gets ready to fight me. I started carrying a knife with me after a mugging attempt a few months ago. Since then, my mugging attempts have had a far higher success rate. I see a clue. A deer that has a bite mark out of it. This deer ran so my baby boy could walk. I miss Mutt. Worried sick, I decide to continue forward and arrive back at the old woman's house who nursed me back to health like I was her own son. I say g'day to the big girl and she asks me for 150 coins to repay her. My net worth is 20 coins. This is bloody medieval Europe, not modern day America. What the kind of crippling medical debt is this? I pull out my sword and start slashing the greedy wench, but somehow she puts the legs on and sprints away from me. I pursue her through the forest for some time, but end up losing the minx. I haven't seen an old person run like this since I visited the nursing home and played a World War II air raid siren through the PA system. I read the in-game journal, and apparently there's a huntsman nearby who knows these woods and might have seen my pooch. I head to his place and talk to his missus, who's busy tending to the cabbages. She's like, "Hey mate, why are you wearing my son's clothes? Did you kill him?" Oh dear, this is Robin Hood's mum, plus I'd like to know how she knew I murdered him. I try and threaten her, but it doesn't work, and another Robin Hood comes out to defend her. It's actually kind of embarrassing that we're all wearing the same outfit. There I was thinking I'd be the only Robin Hood in the realm, and this guy comes along and wears it better than me. Somehow I lose to the young man and die. I reload my latest save, change out of my Robin Hood fit, and walk back through the forest to the hut. I ask the woman where her husband is, as I want to ask where my dog is. I don't bother asking her directly because she's probably a witch. She says he never returned from a hunting trip and begs I save him. I agree to do so because I'm a great guy in small doses. It's taking a while to run around the map, and so I locate a small fishing village and steal myself a horse. A victimless crime, except for the stable owner, I guess. I gallop for what feels like days through various biomes and then arrive back at the very house I left from. I have an awful sense of direction. Like so bad that I often wonder if I'm a crack baby. Mum swears she never touched the stuff, but she also used to sneak vegetables into the spaghetti bolognese sauce when I was younger, so who knows with her. I can edit out my bad directions in videos, but recently I've been streaming on Twitch and you get to see all my incompetence live with nowhere for me to hide as I'm on Twitch. That's www.twitch.com/modestpelican. I figure while I'm back here, I might as well get a slick 8 hours, so I lay down for a moment in the Cali King. I'm rudely woken up by the woman saying she's going to turn me into the authorities. Wow, okay. I say I'll save her husband, and this is the thanks I get for attempting to do it on a full night's rest. I'm not sure if she's a witch or a snitch. Either way, let's get a bonfire going. I tell her to do her worst. She proceeds to escort me across the entire map, and then I'm back in the pillories for 3 entire days. Again I say, villains aren't born, they're made. Feeling like I'm back to square one and no closer to my pooch, I gather myself. I dunk myself in the water, allowing God's sweet nectar to cleanse me of the absolute mistreatment I've had to endure. I steal myself another horse and ride to find this goddamn huntsman who knows the woods and can tell me where my dog is. I ride with haste as nothing can stop me except my horse bucking me off and I fall to the ground. Then a pack of wolves attack me and I die. The average age of death around here is like 22 years old and I'm somehow lowering it. After searching 85% of mainland Europe, I find the huntsman who is also wearing the Robin Hood fit. A million little copycats out here. He's kind of handsome, I bet he would have nice feet. We could make a fortune selling feet pics so long as he doesn't do anything stupid. He falls from the tree and badly sprains his ankle. Great. No one is paying any silver for ugly swollen feet pics. I have to carry the lad through the darkness of night as wolves howl, it's terrifying. The only time I'm more scared is when my girlfriend starts a sentence with, "It's just funny that." It's never actually funny, lads. I've always done something wrong. The other day I opened some tortilla chips and ended up enjoying the entire packet with some hummus. My girlfriend spawns and says, "Did you just eat an entire packet of tortilla chips right before our friends arrive?" I glance at the oven. She's put on a roast. She says, "It's just funny that I spent all afternoon preparing dinner and now you won't even be hungry." Honestly, from her point of view, unbelievably reasonable. From my point of view, God forbid she gives me a mid-afternoon reminder that we're having guests. I say, "No babe, I'm so hungry." I wasn't hungry at all, but I force-fed myself a large portion of dinner that night. I did not enjoy it as I was incredibly generous with the hummus, but she couldn't be angry at me. Big boy solves big problems. So this huntsman has sent me off to retrieve his horse from a poacher's camp. I managed to kill a few and get my biggest upgrade yet. Actual armor. Call me Sir Pelican because my beak can hold more than my belly can. AKA I threw up most of that roast dinner. Twice the taste, 0 the calories. I sprint into the crowded camp, fire an arrow that he kind of impressively blocks with his shield, and mount the stallion. I get slashed extremely badly by their swords, almost dying, but on my way out, against all odds, I manage to steal the horse. The cuts hurt, but the horse is free. This is a bittersweet moment, like when my girl said my dick was bigger than my brother's. I head back to the huntsman and tell him the good news. We ride back to his hut, and his wife is like, "Thank you, you're my hero, I owe you the world. You saved my husband." On the cusp of death, I limp into the cabin and collapse onto the bed, as everyone knows a good kip heals grievous bodily sword wounds. I sleep soundly, except I don't. The huntsman wakes me up and asks what the hell I'm doing in his bed and says that he's going to get the guards. I wasn't expecting this brother to give me a goodnight kiss, but a big spoon would have been welcomed. The huntsman falls ill. I realise I forgot to ask him about my dog before he fell ill, but I'm never going back to the pillory. So much death and no answers. I look deep within myself and come up with a creative, fresh plan. I skip into town, sharpen my sword, have a quick splash of Aphrodite's perspiration, and prepare to drastically increase the murders per second of this playthrough. Everyone will die until I find my dog. I start with the old lady who raised me like a mother. No leads on Mutt, but I do get a pair of common lady shoes, so her death wasn't in vain. It'd be crazy if I wore them and maybe put on her dress and danced around. I visit the Cuman camps and continue my rampage. No sign of Mutt. I continue my spree, but then almost if God himself guided me to this precise location, I find a clue. More dead deer. I follow the trail and suddenly I see Mutt. He's alive. This is the happiest day of my life. After so long it feels too good to be true, but then the wolves appear. Mutt's been living with them. Fortunately, he's able to call them off due to their strong bond. Just kidding, he offers them out and we murder each and every one of them together. He really is his father's son. Mutt and I begin exploring the countryside together. The best part is, when people try and flee, I can order Mutt to attack them, which stalls them out enough for me to slice them up. Now it's time to head back into town, change Mutt's name to Modest Pelican, and put him up for adoption, as this would really help spread the good word of my channel. If you enjoyed this video, hit like. I love you.